Also, if you get a chance, friends, you might want to check out the Seacrest Motel. Do you know Holler Weekends is here? Like, killer Holler Weekends when they got the coasters and the monsters and everything is in full bloom.
Yeah.
Well, Christelle, do you want to pay between $120 and $600 for a room when to go there?
No.
No. So where do you want to go?
Seacrest Motel.
Go call the Seacrest Motel. Let Vicky.
Vicky.
Yeah. When Vicky answers the phone, let Vicky know that you heard about it from TCV. You are going to save a fortune. You're going to save so much that if you had the money for the breakers, you'll be able to buy your tickets and go into the park the next day with the money you saved on the room.
Win a big monkey.
Yes, you can go win a big monkey too. Christelle's been on a mission to win these giant monkeys. And you know what? You'll save enough money that you can waste all your money trying to win the big monkey. So go to the Seacrest Motel, friends, and be very, very happy that you did. One last plug real quick. Arcadia Grill. Wonderful food. Wonderful service. Always supported this show. Mom just passed. A lot of my longtime viewers know. Dad passed a couple years ago. Everybody met at the Arcadia Grill and remembered a life well lived. That's how good their food is, and we choose them all the time. Anytime we have a chance to go there, get some ravioli, get a drink well made, or a well drink if you want. The Arcadia Grill in downtown Canton, Ohio. Guys, we've got a couple stories left, in course, of the Dumdy of the day. This is Mail Online, though. Before we get to the Dumdy, we have another Dumdy. His name is Al Gore. It sounds like a Japanese monster movie. Al Gore versus the ice. Myth of Arctic meltdown. Stunning satellite images show summer ice cap is thicker and covers 1.7 million square kilometers more ice than 2 years ago, despite Al Gore's prediction that it would be ice-free by now. That's right. 7 years ago, Al Gore predicted that we would be ice-free in this region because of man-made global warming. The planet has not warmed, I think it's in like 10 years or 14 years. And there is more ice now than there was when they were worried about a next ice age in the freaking 70s. The speech by former U.S. Vice President Al Gore was apocalyptic. The North Polar ice cap is falling off a cliff, he said. It would be completely gone in summer in as little as 7 years. That's right, 7 years from right now. These comments came in '07 as Al Gore accepted the Nobel Peace Prize for campaigning on climate change. Well, decreases the prestige of the Nobel Peace Prize, doesn't it? Let's remember Hitler got it too. Although in their defense, nobody really knew what degree Hitler was going to be. But just the same, Hitler got the Peace Prize. It says 7 years after the warning, the Mail on Sunday can reveal that, far from vanishing, the Arctic ice cap has expanded, that means grown for you Usher fans, for the second year in succession, with a surge, depending on how you measure it, of between 43 and 63% since 2012. To put it another way, an area the size of Alaska, America's largest state, was open water 2 years ago, but it is again now covered by ice. In other words, more proof that man is not warming the planet, more proof that we really dodged a bullet by not having Al Gore as president, even though he should have been. I'm glad he wasn't. It says Mr. Gore, whose office yesterday failed to respond to a request for comment, insisted then there is a 75% chance that the entire polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within 7 years. It says, for years, many have been claiming that the Arctic is in an irrevocable death spiral, with imminent ice-free summers bound to trigger further disasters. Guess what? It's not happening. And friends, that brings us to the Dumdy of the day. This was supposed to be the Dunce Cap of the Month award. Many of you know that the TSA has completely obliterated my regular computer. I've been using Christelle's, and in the shuffle, I ended up missing the story that I actually wanted to win the Dunce Cap of the Month. I'm happy with the one that got it, but this had to be mentioned. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. School kids suspended and arrested for imaginary shooting a dinosaur. Yup. In another case of school officials adhering to ridiculous zero-tolerance policies, a student from South Carolina was suspended and arrested by police recently after writing an imaginary story about using a gun to shoot a dinosaur. The offender, 16-year-old Alex Stone of Somerville High School in the suburb of Charleston, was in the course of completing an assignment where students were asked to write something brief about themselves, much like Facebook status updates. Stone told reporters that he found himself in hot water with teachers for being over-imaginative and mentioning the word gun. Keep in mind, you have a God-given right, according to the Constitution, as the Second Amendment, to talk about guns. Freedom of speech is your right to talk about whatever, and the Second Amendment is your right to keep and bear arms. I killed my neighbor's pet dinosaur, and then in the next status I thought I bought the gun to take care of the business, the student said. A 65 million year gap between the story and reality didn't seem to matter to teachers, who immediately suspended Stone for a week, searched his book bag and locker, finding nothing, and then inexplicably called the police. When the cops paid a visit to the student, he reportedly became irate. I wonder why. Was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, all before the boy's parents were informed what was going on. I bet he was angry. I bet he was. I'm sure of it. I mean, where's the next Stephen King going to come from? Why do I do these stories? Call the Somerville High School in a suburb of Charleston. Call them. Repeatedly call them and let them know what you think of this. Let them know what you think of this ridiculous ordinance or policy or whatever the hell you want to call it. If the school would have called me and told me about the paper and asked me to come down and discuss everything, at least get this point of view out of the way, he meant it. I never heard from the school. Never. They never called me, said the boy's mother, Karen Gray, mother of the dinosaur slayer. Stone's parents were barely able to comprehend the actions of the school. I could understand if they made him rewrite it because it did have gun in it. She's a bonehead herself for even capitulating to that. But a pet dinosaur? Gray added, I mean, first of all, we don't have dinosaurs anymore. Second of all, he's not even old enough to buy a gun. The student, and again, he said he bought it. It's a story. The student, I could understand if he had to rewrite it because he had a gun in it. That's ridiculous. The student is standing his ground on the matter. God bless him. I regret it because they put it on my record, but I don't see harm in it, Stone said. I think that there might have been a better way of putting it, but I think me writing like that, it shouldn't matter because I put it out towards a person. And it mentions the other zero tolerance laws. You can see the article on InfoWars. Friends, that's the height of stupidity. So call them. Let them know what you think of it. Let them know what you think of wasting your tax dollars. Police time. What if something important would have happened while the police were harassing the dinosaur slayer? Dumdy of the day. Friends, you're listening to The Correct Views. Sam I.B. DeGangi signing off, reminding you to go to themediaspeaks.com to look up the work of Kyle Court, D-Lake, and myself. We are always posting news and relevant media. And again, don't worry about the see something, say something thing. This isn't Nazi Germany. But stay vigilant. If you're in an airport, of course, stay extra vigilant. Make sure you've always got your eye on your bag. Common sense things. You don't need the government to watch over you. You have a brain. Use the thinking part of your brain. Good night, friends. God bless.